Good morning from Freedom Prepper. It's October 5th, 2020. Here's what you need to know.
Boy, what a ruckus. President Trump has allegedly contracted a common cold, as has Mrs. Trump, Hope Hicks, and 4/3 of mankind. This news came late last week via the never-ending tweet stream that is the Trump administration. Get well soon, Mr. President. We'll continue standing by. Some are concerned this medical development is a major national security risk, confronting America like nothing ever has in all of our history. You know, like 9/11, Pearl Harbor, the Great Depression, the Greater Depression, the Civil War 2.0, the end of the Kardashians. We will never be the same. Trump is temporarily residing at Walter Reed out of an abundance of caution over a disease that most people don't notice, and that has a 99.5% recovery rate. According to Dr. Fauci, no other president has ever been sick with anything before. According to Trump, his cold is huge, the biggest and best that, frankly, anyone has ever seen. He's getting a new, previously unknown, and experimental treatment with polyclonal antibodies which purportedly slow or ease viral loads in the body, thus increasing recovery speed. They have this, and this is the first we're hearing about it. Michael Moore suggests that Trump is lying, is in a panic, and is using his hospital-free time to plan an escape to a non-extradition country. Projection much, Mike? Here's a better conspiracy theory. Trump is faking it so as to move into a secure military base from which he will launch the storm and utterly destroy the deep state. Or, he could just have a cold. None of this changes my election prediction, except that the resulting violence and unrest may be a little worse than what we already fear. Accordingly, the National Guard is gearing up for civil war, peaceful protests, because you always need soldiers for peaceful protests. The DOJ, FBI too. Given the kind things they've recently said about Antifa, we're not sure if they're gearing up to help the NG or to attack them. We'll know around sunset on election night.
Here's a big dose. The big hypothetical about the police state, pandemic, probably the deadliest threat to humanity in the history of deadly threats to humanity. According to the data I've been seeing, it's only a matter of days, or hours, until nearly everyone on Earth is infected and is either dying in agony and alone, or suffering mild common cold-like symptoms, or absolutely no symptoms whatsoever.
As the V or K, or WTF? Shaped recovery just soars. For some reason, New York is a ghost town. The apartments are empty. Stores are empty. Offices are empty. Even some mega banks are keeping the staff away. 21st century bank robbery, when the criminal banksters rob you. JP Morgan Chase, mega bank, and cartel, their own word, has agreed to pay a measly $1 billion fine for rigging the global gold market, allowing them to make off with something with real value while you and I hold useless debts. Rest easy. No one is going to jail for this crime that would send any of us to prison forever. The financial crisis of 2008 to 2009 was literally papered over. Nothing has changed except that it is now much worse. CDOs are now called CLOs, big deal O. These people should be locked up for destroying the economy. Instead, who wants to bet on the size of their next bailout?
In today's stories worth talking about. Who broke the internet? Who cares? But it is, in my humble opinion, a wrecked mess. This story from an expert proves what I've been saying for years. 2005 was peak web. Now we're bogged down by ads, videos, shifting graphics, trolls, and constant spying. Read the whole thing, after the 20 minutes it'll take to load up. Boom. Over Paris. Parisians were startled recently when a jet fighter screamed over the city at supersonic speeds, creating that lovely, earth-shattering sound wave. This, dearest Americans, might be a sound you need to get used to over your cities, like a shotgun blast going off in your face, and all around you, through you. The sound of modern war. A crusade? Was the jet fighter responding to Macron's call to defeat Islamic terrorists in France? If you've paid attention to the Euro news these past 5 or so years, you know that a battle or war is brewing. Maybe keep an eye on that for a preview of how our own experiment in diverse dystopia might turn out. Also, pay attention to what's happening in Armenia. There's a new war. This might be a good primer for what's about to break out in the US. Pay attention to how it affects the civilian population. Pray for peace. There and here. A civil war of any magnitude might slow your retirement plans if you have any. As is, half of all aging Americans plan to retire on the poor side. I guess with an added war on the home front, that might move closer to all Americans, or it could permanently postpone retirements. FP is now hot and heavy in the middle of a series on civil war, civil unrest, and riots. Please join us this week and next as we take a hard look at the pending unpleasantness. No retirement advice, sorry.
Calling war and depression. He got them both in one video. The trend master, Gerald Celente, wears out his BS buzzer in this most timely and deadly accurate forecast of the near future, and a report on the news you just can't get out of the MSM liars. Must watch.
Thank you for watching this video. For a full article of each story, please visit freedomprepper.com.